welcome back to the most amazing channel on the internet. I'm your host Rebecca Felgate, and today we're back with more urban legends. Georgia, come on through, it is your time. That's right guys, we are talking about the top 10 Georgia urban legends. Before we get into this though, I want to know where you guys are from, and if you want an urban legends for that place, let me know. I'd be really down to make Cambridge urban legends, it might be cool. Also, while you're down there leaving a comment, why don't you leave a thumbs up on this video and share it with a friend. And if you guys want to connect with me on social media, then there is a link to my Instagram in the description box. Okay, coming into number 10, we have the Cursed Pillar of Augusta. If you have ever been to Augusta, you may have come across the Cursed Pillar in the Lower Market area of downtown. This is on the east side of 5th Street. The legend behind the pillar is varied depending on who tells it, but most stories say that an evangelical priest wanted to preach in the marketplace but was denied by the authorities. The legend says that he called down a tornado to destroy everything in the town except the spot he was standing at. The tornado came and the priest seemed to be standing by the pillar, which remained when allegedly everything else was destroyed. Ever since, anyone who has ever messed with or touched the pillar is said to have met a terrible or even grave misfortune. The pillar has a sign of its very own, and people even visit the column every day to test their luck. I see. The pillar was damaged in 1935 and again in 1958, but patched up again. Sadly, it was destroyed in 2016 by a car that crashed into it, although no one claimed responsibility. The city has said that they will rebuild the monument, but nobody knows what has happened to the person that dealt it a fatal blow. Perhaps they too are lying in a pile of rubble. Basically, I guess they would be if the legends are anything to be believed. I don't know, what would you do if you were Georgia? Would you rebuild the pillow or just leave it alone? Coming in at number 9, we have the Snickers Snatchers of Smyrna. I don't like an old bridge. I'm honestly very scared that they'll collapse as I walk, or worse, drive over them. Honestly, I don't want to be in a car in a ditch. This bridge, the Nickajack Creek Bridge in Smyrna, Georgia, was built in 1872. It's totally covered, so very, very dark, and it's only 1 lane in width. As you can see, it's already pretty creepy. Anyway, the legend goes that if you drive over the bridge at night and leave a Snickers chocolate bar on the bonnet of your car, the ghosts of children who drowned in the creek will be tempted from their watery graves. They'll come up and take the chocolate. That's the story anyway, but honestly, why Snickers? It seems that the chocolate is very tempting for the dead. Honestly, who knew? To be honest though, I think the bigger danger here is being crashed into as you park up on a covered bridge with room for just 1 lane of traffic. I wouldn't risk it. Have the Snickers yourself. Coming into number 8, we have the Smoke of Ellis Hotel. In 1946, there was a terrible blaze at the Winecoff Hotel in Atlanta, Georgia. In the early hours of the 7th of December, the deadliest hotel fire in US history blazed through a building that had previously been hailed as fully fireproof. A lot like with the so-called unsinkable Titanic, developers of the building had such confidence in the so-called flame retardant building that they didn't even include an automatic sprinkler system. They didn't include enough alarms or enough fire exits, meaning that a lot of the guests above the 3rd floor where the fire broke out were trapped. Sadly, 119 people died, with many people jumping out of the windows to their deaths. The building was repaired and renamed. It's now called the Ellis Hotel to try and disassociate it with the past tragedy. It seems though that the tragedy has unfortunately lingered. Still today, guests report smelling smoke and seeing spectres. Some even say that items are stolen from their rooms. It seems that some of the ghosts have no respect for personal property whatsoever. One of the ghosts said to haunt the building is a woman who was famously pictured jumping to her death to avoid the flames. Coming into number 7, we have Catherine of Mill House. Mill House in Roswell, Georgia is said to be haunted by an electricity-hating ghost by the name of Catherine. In the 1990s, a woman purchased the old mill cottage and wanted to turn the property into a business, but when she tried to renovate, she kept on returning to find the renovations had been disrupted. The weirdest incident came after she tried to have electricity installed. She came back home to find the house sopping wet, as if it had just been flooded. She came to the conclusion that actually maybe the building was haunted, and she called in a medium. The medium found the house was indeed haunted by not 1 but 5 women, all the wives of former mill workers. The medium convinced 4 of the women to cross into the afterlife, but the legend has it that the 5th, Catherine, simply wouldn't leave. She complained about fire in the walls, aka the electricity the new owner was trying to install. It seems that she flooded the house to try and get rid of the electricity. To this day, nobody has been able to install any electrics in the home. Coming Coming into number 6, we have the weeping statue of Gracie. In the super spooky Bonaventure Cemetery in Savannah, which is over 150 years old, there is a big creepy monument of a little girl called Gracie. Gracie Watson supposedly died of pneumonia aged just 6, and somewhere over the history of time after her death, people started leaving little gifts for the girl. She's said to actually really enjoy playing with her gifts at night, and often they can be seen to have been moved inexplicably. The urban legend goes that you should never touch or mess with Gracie's trinkets because she has become very attached to them. If you do touch them, she's said to cry blood out of frustration. Yikes. Some people even say that they can hear Gracie crying at night. Another graveyard legend at number 5, we have this stone statue of Corinne. In the same Bonaventure Savannah Memorial Graveyard, there is a statue of Corinne Elliott. If you ever see the statue though, you should never look it in the eye because the legend has it that you will turn to stone. The story goes that Corinne was denied the chance to marry her love, a man her family considered beneath her. Instead, they ordered that she marry someone else, someone better suited to her status. Corinne decided that she would rather die than marry a man she didn't love, so she reportedly rode her horse into a river the day before her wedding. Now she does have a creepy statue at the graveyard, and the story goes that her pupilless eyes will curse you. Coming into number 4, we have the Masquerade Vampire. The Masquerade nightclub in Atlanta is kind of creepy to look at from the outside. It's painted black and everything, but like whatever, it's just a club. Although, is it? Rumor has it that the nightclub is both haunted and the home of a vampire. The building dates back to the 1800s when it was a mill, but in the 1980s it opened as a club. The ghost or vampire in question is said to take the form of a tall man dressed in black. He's often spotted skulking around the club. It's also said that the spectre regularly turns off amplifiers. Some say they hear female screams coming from the back stairs. Now are they the screams of the vampire's victims? It is even rumored that several employees died from tuberculosis in the building. Coming into number 3, we have the Candler Oak Hanging Tree. Get a load of this spooky but majestic looking tree. It is over 300 years old, making it the oldest living landmark in the area. The tree in Savannah is on the property of the Savannah Law School. A rumor has it that the tree was used for hangings in the past, and that the last known hanging was in 1911 when a black man was lynched and murdered by a mob. It seems a number of people who have passed by the Candler Oak have seen apparitions hanging from the low branches of the tree. This is not what I need. Coming into number 2, we have the Ghosts of Moon River. Moon River Brewing Company is located in Savannah, Georgia. The building is very famous for sitting on the site of the first guest house in Savannah, the City Hotel. Now a microbrewery, the building has seen a lot of action. It is nearing 200 years old, so I can imagine it's, seen a bit in its time. It also used to house the first ever branch of the US Post Office for all of those interested. What a place. These days it isn't only the pint glasses that are full to the brim. The historic building is absolutely crawling with spectres. One of the more famous ghosts is said to be that of James Stark, who was shot in the building by Philip Minus amid a duel in 1832. He is said to remain on the second floor of the building, haunting for the rest of eternity. Other haunted areas include the women's toilets in the dining section of the brewery. Women have claimed to have been locked in the cubicles without reason, as if there's someone forcing it shut. The building is so haunted it even featured in The Ghost Hunters. Finally, coming into number 1, this actually made me feel very, very cold inside. We have the cursed Lake Lanier. There's always a cursed lake in these lists, isn't there? So Lake Lanier is in the north part of Georgia and is a man-made body of water rather than a natural lake. The reservoir provides water and hydroelectricity for the city of Atlanta and was made by the United States government in 1948. Unfortunately, the lake came at the cost of 250 families, 15 businesses, and 20 cemeteries, all of which were sunk by the government after forcing the family out. Therefore, at the bottom of the lake lies a small ghost town and a number of burial sites. Now, perhaps this is the explanation for the mysterious deaths near the body of water. It seems that the lake is considered by locals to be cursed, and I wouldn't want to mess with it. In 2011 alone, there were 20 mysterious deaths near the lake, and to this day, the numbers continue to be strangely high. Those who have survived accidents on the lake talk of feeling hands pulling them down to the bottom. Very, very, very strange, and honestly, very creepy. I think I'd give boating on this lake a big miss. this. So guys, that was the top 10 scary Georgia urban legends. Did you enjoy this list? Which of these did you find the scariest? Let me know in the comment section down below. Have you been to any of these places? Can you confirm that they're spooky? I am all ears. Also, once again, don't forget to let me know where you're from and if you would like an urban legends for that place. Honestly, I quite like doing them. For now, I'm your host, Rebecca Felgate. Please do show me you like these types of videos by giving them a good thumbs up, sharing them with a friend, and staying subscribed for more lists, and I'll see you next time.